Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Yeah, what's up? Welcome to the Monday KVJ After the Show Podcast. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome to Monday.
Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
People put some fucked up shit on Facebook, man.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Well, you're just scrolling down, just looking for things to talk about, and then all of a sudden you got someone with a fucking open wound on their leg. Cut my leg today. Look at the guts. I don't really want to fucking look at that.
I saw the most horrific thing. My girlfriend sent it to me, and it happened to her daughter's friend. Brown recluse spider bite.
Yeah.
On the heel, and the thing looked horrific. And then I was talking to Denny's about it, and he said, even if you go to the hospital, the brown recluse spider, he emits this poison when he bites you, and it immediately starts to eat your muscle. So you are going to have a major, disgusting, horrifying divot in your flesh that you can't do anything about.
That's what happened to my mom. We don't know if it was a recluse, but she got bit from some kind of bug in the front yard, and it started off as a very small little red bump. And she was hospitalized after, and it started to eat away part of her leg. It was fucked up looking, man.
Yeah. Guy I know, his wife had that, and then she got like, I think there's like something like necrosis or something like that sets in, where it's like the
Of the liver?
Well, it's just like whatever it's called. Maybe that's not the right word. If necrosis is liver, but it
I
had
think you're
to
thinking
do
of
with
cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have that.
Okay, yeah. Had to do with like dying muscle and flesh, and then she got the I think it was the MRSA along with it as well when she went to the hospital, and so that's like flesh eating. I mean, just like gnawed away like her arm. It was just crazy. It started from just that one bite.
How messed up is that? You go to the hospital to get better, and then while you're there, you get MRSA.
Twig from the snack pack. He ended up getting MRSA in his face, and it looked like his face. Yeah, something happened with his face, and he honestly looked like he was turning into a lion. It made him go from human to lion face.
Okay, necrosis can happen to anything. It's death of cells or tissue through disease or injury. So I guess it can happen to anything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it was. It started with that from the bite, and then the MRSA moved into it. It's just a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, a horrible type like situation there. But yeah, that kind of stuff happens, and that's one thing that they don't really put a limit on. Yeah, it was just over the weekend. It was crazy. Like my wife and my cousins, like apparently they were all into those pimple popping videos, and I was like, no thanks. Like
those are going crazy on Facebook too.
I'm like, but that stuff's all over, and they just do it. Thumbelina had sent an email talking about the most gory thing that you've ever seen or done, and she was telling a story in the email about how when she was pregnant, she was 17, living on her own. And she had no insurance. She wound up with this taste in her mouth like pennies, and her face was swollen on one side like the Elephant Man.
Oh, my gosh.
She had an abscessed tooth. It was a Saturday, so she really couldn't find a dentist, and she had no money to go even if she could. So she wound up, she was afraid that like the saliva of, the abscessed tooth would be bad for the unborn baby. Didn't really know. So she goes and boils up some hot water and takes care of her abscessed tooth herself. She had to birth 2 full-grown babies, and it's probably the most painful thing I've ever done.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't even know if I could do that. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff, right? Yeah. You always see
Next level.
Yeah, my wife was watching a show where like somebody got shot and like they were criminals, so you can't like go to a hospital. So they just pull out a knife and like, here we go.
Yeah, there's some injuries where I think I should have gone to the hospital and I didn't just because it was a to-do. I sliced my foot bad one time on a big old rock, and I definitely needed stitches. And I'm like, fuck that. I'll let it heal natural.
How'd it heal?
Not so natural. Should have absolutely went to the hospital.
He limps still today.
Yeah, to kind of go on Thumbelina's story, I remember I was taking some kind of pain medication, and I had an allergic reaction. I took the medication about 9:30 at night. I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden I started getting this weird taste, kind of like an aluminum taste in my mouth. Then I felt my lip getting bigger, and then I could see my lip out of my eye. I go, what is going on? I looked into the mirror. My lip had expanded so bad to the point where I freaked out. I wake up my roommate, JR, you back when I lived with JR. But,
yeah.
JR, my fucking lip. He looks at me. He starts laughing. He goes, oh, my gosh, what the fuck happened to your lip? I ended up taking Benadryl, and within 10 minutes, I could feel my lip shrinking back down to its normal size.
Wow.
I had an allergic reaction, but it expanded so big, it split my lip in half. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa, that's crazy.
But I had an allergic reaction. I think it was called Darvocet. It's
Darvocet.
Darvocet. It did not.
I'm not a fan of Darvocet.
Oh, it did something to my system.
I don't like the way Darvocet makes you feel. I've had that. I'm not a fan of Darvocet.
It felt like I was growing hair out of my teeth. It was such a weird drug. I did not like it.
Yeah,
It's a painkiller?
It was a painkiller for my back.
You can keep that Darvocet and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. It's
Not
terrible.
good, huh?
I don't like it.
I think I took 2 of them, and I could never take them again. They were terrible.
Dang. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy stuff.
Oh, I left my pain pills at home. I wish I brought them. My boobs are sore.
Yeah, somebody was asking. In fact, we had a text. Why is Virginia constantly holding her tits?
Because they're sore, and I forgot to bring a pain pill with me, and they're just
So unlike you.
I know, right?
You'd think you'd have like 10 hidden around the studio just in case of an emergency.
Well, guess who just walked in? Dr. Grey Goose.
Dr. Grey Goose. Now I gotta go for a follow-up. I can't show up drunk.
Oh, gosh.
And I gotta go to my kid's school. Mags has been hitting me up. Mom, I'm sick.
Oh, no.
She sounded like she had swollen glands. In fact, I think swollen glands and sore throats are going around right now. I think there's a little funk.
Ugh. I already made her a doctor's appointment, so I'm going to go get her from school and take her to the doctor.
Believe it or not, if you have a sore throat, do a little salt water and warm water and gargle it. It does actually help out.
It really does. If you're just like on the brink of something and it's not too serious, that tends to like numb it and knock it out a little bit. I don't know how it works. It's magical.
Oh, someone in the chat room said Darvocet's been taken off the market.
Really?
Yeah, I'm wondering when they're going to take Ambien off the market.
I hated Darvocet.
Yeah, it seems like it probably should come off the market soon, right?
The Ambien, Ambien is such an insane drug. I can't believe they're still prescribing it.
Ambien, it will make you do things, and you'll have no idea you did them, and you might have broke the law. You don't know what you did. It makes you psycho, and if you stay awake on it, it doesn't make you sleepy. It makes you crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is kind of nuts.
Well,
some of the stuff they have out there.
I understand it hits everybody differently, but there's just so many horror stories about Ambien to where you got to think, okay, what the fuck's going on here?
And the people, I've heard the situation too where you take it and you think everything's good and then something pops up that is like an emergency and you're like, oh, I can't go to sleep now. And then you're like trying to stay awake on it.
And then you're fighting the wall because the wall is winking at you.
You turn into a complete nutcase.
Yeah, you can hallucinate on that.
Mm-hmm. Tough to do. Well, it's the season of Halloween. Spooky's pretty much everywhere now. Lots of decorations and scary clowns. Somebody said I was coaching my son's baseball team yesterday, and a guy dressed as a scary clown rode by on a Harley staring at us with Clown Carnival music blasting.
Oh, this guy loves it.
Loves it. My kids were freaking out. I laughed, though.
That is pretty awesome.
That's awesome to me.
He's on a Harley.
Yeah.
That's creativity.
Some people love that stuff. And Jay from West Palm said, Jaybird, can you have a scary clown sitting in your audience at the horror show this year? Maybe move him around the audience, because I brought my cousin with me last year who is a freak about going to the movies after all the shootings. They made us move 5 times just to stay away from this sad-looking man who looked like he was going to shoot up the place. She was so scared. I would have just really loved to scare the shit out of her by pointing out a clown.
I don't know, man. I try not to fuck around with the audience in the crowd anymore. You just don't know who is tweaky, who's packing. I know when all the shootings were going on in the theater, someone came to the theater late, and they went out on a side door and came in, and they're looking around. They looked all confused, and you just felt like, what's this motherfucker about to do?
Yeah. Don't mess with the theater.
It's a weird time to do stunts.
I agree. It's not smart, and you don't want to mess around and get yourself shot by somebody who's scared.
And it's a great idea, and I love the idea, and I think it's awesome. but I would be nervous doing a stunt like that in today's day and age with a clown just all of a sudden jumping up and
Or the
storming.
chance, that you don't just scare or make somebody uneasy. There's a chance that somebody winds up dead.
Yeah,
Right.
I just, you know.
Because people can say, oh, I feared for my life. The clown lunged at me. And then
Yeah.
what? Like, they shot the clown?
I mean, could you imagine some bullshit like someone freaks out? And I know I'm going to that
But
crazy place
it's
mentally.
not so crazy, actually.
I'm seeing a lot of signs now. Like I noticed when we went to the zoo on Friday, they or another place that had a sign up about you can't pack any heat. I know my dad was very disappointed. He loves to pack heat everywhere, but it's a real hot button issue for him. He's like going, all the places where all these kind of shootings would happen. You can't pack heat legally now. So it's kind of going movie theaters and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the concealed carry people like my dad is just like, well, what's the point?
I want guys like your dad that has a concealed carry that does it the right way.
Yeah.
I want him everywhere with a gun.
But he's so law-abiding, and he said that's the problem. I wouldn't break the law, but the problem is like all the places where now you're legally not allowed to carry guns are all the places where somebody who's going to be like going, I'm not listening to a sign, take a gun in, and the people who have concealed carry can't do anything about it because they're not allowed to bring it in.
He raises a very, very valid concern.
Oh, he does, Virginia. So, yeah. So he said more and more places, every time you take a look, you can't carry a gun in public legally.
Yeah, let's get into a gun debate.
Why you even have a concealed carry if you can't bring it into places where you feel like there could be a mass shooting?
That'll be it eventually. And maybe one day they'll go with something where they have, you can get a higher level where you go through a background emotional test, and then you can almost be kind of like, maybe like a deputized type citizen where you would get an exception above and beyond everybody else.
Is this conversation we're having right now political? Is somebody going to be mad at us?
Absolutely, but I mean, fuck it. We do a talk show. You're going to eventually hit a subject that someone's not going to like your opinion on.
I don't mean to get political, but I just had a feeling like, oh, this is going to be all of a sudden either Republicans or Democrats are going to be mad at me. And I don't understand why, but they will.
Our poor sweet Denny's still getting death threats about him calling a hot dog a sandwich. Like, I'm not
Honestly,
even...
9 out of 10 topics are very flammable today.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Everyone's pissed.
I don't even know which one you can have that's not flammable and toxic.
Everyone's triggered, then everyone's triggered about being triggered. I can't believe I'm saying the term triggered.
Yeah.
Triggered.
That's a new term. You fucking triggered, man.
That's my trigger.
Fucking snowflake.
I can't.
Let me see. Somebody talking about the movie. I tried. It's just kind of weird. Like I downloaded. Because I have like the iTunes app on my phone. I went and found the Star Wars movie Solo. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm on the plane. I've kind of got my thing now where it's like if you get just enough movies and app stuff, it's actually, man, plane rides just zip right by. I'm like,
Yes.
that's cool. You watch a movie, like, bam, this is great. And you can do all that kind of stuff. And so I had it. I did the thing where I like paid the money and then it said download. I hit the little download thing. I looked at it and it looked like that little square, like that little circle, how it starts to fill in. If you ever do the iTunes, you know that. It means it started to download. I put it down because I was getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, cool. When I wake up in the morning, that thing will be downloaded. And I got up in the morning and wasn't there. And then the weird thing, like Dina said, if you don't buy the Wi-Fi on the plane, your movie won't work. Sorry. That's not true. I can't even tell you like what happened. I watched it. I was watching it on the plane and it said, you have no downloads. I went and did a search for it and it just said play and I hit play and I'm like, oh, cool. It's starting to play. So it played and I watched it through my entire first leg of my flight. And then on the way back, I'm like, oh, I'll watch it on the way back. And it just didn't come up at all anywhere.
Could be a little malfunction.
Yeah.
I've had that before where I've ordered something on iTunes and for whatever reason it did not upload.
Did you try to like turn your phone off and on?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because my phone now, I don't know if anybody else is having this with their iPhone. I've got not the brand new ones that just came out. I had the 10 or the X or whatever it is. And now with my text messages, about 3 or 4 times a day, I got to turn my phone off because I get like phantom texts. Like I can see all the conversation going on, but I can't reply to anyone in a text thread. I have to turn my phone all the way off. Then when I turn it back on, then all of a sudden the text, I can respond to them.
So those photos, the ones you take where people don't realize they're moving and talking on the photos they're sending, can you take that feature off?
Absolutely.
Okay, I was going to say, that's going to bring some motherfuckers down.
Yeah, when you go to your camera, there's a little circle at the top and it's got little dots around it. If there's a line through it, it's off. If it's white and just normal, it's active, live video photo. So just make sure it's off and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Or Make sure it's not off so I can see what you're up to.
No, ain't nothing. Ain't nothing.
I like to know what you're doing over there.
Ain't nothing you want to see.
You scratching around Miss Oktoberfest or what?
Why don't you just shut the fuck up?
She's cute. We're going to be there Friday. Big party, Oktoberfest, American German Club, starting at 6 p.m. Will there be love in the air, along with the smell of sausage and delicious potato pancakes?
No pressure. It's not going to be awkward at all.
Oh, I know. This is what she does. And why don't you go get a hobby and not worry about the bird's love life?
Your love life is my hobby.
All right. Why can't you play it cool like Ralston? Look at Ralston. Steady as a fucking cucumber.
What?
Cool and steady as a cucumber.
Steady as a cucumber.
All right. I'm just asking. Have you guys talked?
Kev, what other emails do we have?
That means yes.
Okay. It means no, it doesn't.
Let's get into it. Because when we last left the bird, there was no talking. They had other people had texted about them and they exchanged numbers. I had heard, but they weren't talking. They weren't texting. They weren't doing anything. Who made the first move?
Kev, what other emails do we have?
This is way more interesting. Kev.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I'm torn. I get the. I know Jaybird is totally. I know he's totally irritated.
You're not Natalie Imbruglia. You know which is more fun to talk about.
Our audience doesn't give a shit about this stuff.
They do.
They don't.
They do.
I just don't think he's going to give you anything, Virginia.
He'll break.
You couldn't get me to break if you tried. You and what army, buddy?
Kevin, get him to break.
Kevin could get me to break.
That's why I asked him to do it.
Somebody said on the phone thing there was a new update. My phone I went on ahead and chose to do the update the other night. I didn't realize it, but hopefully that'll take care of it. But I actually don't think it did because I think it happened again yesterday, and the update happened between Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, whatever. Somebody emailed, said, dirtiest thing I've heard all day was when Kevin was talking about the peanuts at Five Guys. He said, quote, I don't suck on the shell, but I eat the nut inside.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Look at that. All right. Oh, and somebody, Matthew, thank you. He went through and gave us the transcript of the origin of Go Fuck Yourself.
Oh, very good.
Oh, good.
So I was listening through the old podcast, and I found when the Hey Jaybird Go Fuck Yourself started. It was on the After the Show podcast from June 6th of 2017, and it went as follows.
Yes, tell us.
It says, please add this to the KVJ wiki page that doesn't exist. Jaybird, healthiness is equal. Jaybird said this. Healthiness equal to being boring. Kevin then said, what about those people who are in great shape and they go scale mountains and they rock climb and they're out on paddle boards and they're taking on the world? Jaybird said, it's not that it's boring. It's, hey, I'm in shape and I'm better than you, so go fuck yourself. That's kind of the message. Kevin said, who's saying go fuck yourself? Jaybird said, healthy people are always in their mind saying go fuck yourself.
That is true. I stand by my fucking statements, by the way.
Virginia said then, lots of people tell him to go fuck himself all day. All he hears, hey, Jaybird, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I stand by every word of it.
And then that's how it started.
Healthy people think they're better than you.
And then people started yelling at you as you were crossing the street, like from construction sites. Hey, Jaybird, go fuck yourself.
The earlier a healthy person wakes up and works out in the morning, the better they think they. Like runners in the morning, they think they're so much better than you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. And they are.
You see, I've done a little bit of both. I dabbled in both, and I don't know what is better living. Is it like clean, healthy living, or is it the going out and boozing living? Because there are days where I think when you do the clean stuff, and I've done a little bit of both. I've done my fair share, and I, for the most part, try to live in the middle. But
every week I do both.
Yeah, but it's like, when I've been like the totally clean Kev and this and that, yeah, there's some part where I'm like, going, gosh, I could not be any healthier than what I am. This is just fantastic. I wake up on Saturdays and I feel fresh and I'm working out. But then there's part of me going, gosh, I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little boring. Like there's just,
I don't have any stories.
Yes, there's not that kind of element that's happening. But then when you go out and you party it up, then you're like going, okay, I may have a few stories, but gosh, I'm so freaking tired. Like, I've just run down and there's just like a darkness on my soul. Like, so I don't really know.
My liver hurts.
It's the hardest part of like, okay, how do you find that middle?
LIBW. Live in both worlds. Gotta live in both worlds.
That's all I'm saying. Just how do you find that middle? It's just tough because when you start drinking, for some reason, the drunk side takes over the healthy side a little bit more. So it's hard to find that 50-50, which is probably the perfect balance.
Sure.
The drunk side wants 80-20, and that's usually what the problem is. So I don't know. It's always kind of crazy. Ashley sent in an email, said, whispering turns me on. She said, I get turned on anytime a man starts to whisper. I instantly want to have sex.
We did this one. We talked about it on Friday.
We talked about this on Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say, oddly enough, I got into, I can't remember what it was. There was one of those videos, and I played like the whole thing out, like 20 minutes. I'm like,
whispering is sexy.
Oh my gosh. I'm like going, I think this is my new thing, but I was so ashamed that I was watching it. Maybe would have came in there, shame would have just washed all over me.
You like what you like, baby.
I was relaxed, and there was a quarter of me that was turned on. So I'm like, I kind of like this. I'm like, I think this might be my new thing.
Close your eyes. Let me give you a little taste.
Okay.
Hey, I was wondering if I could play with your hair. Maybe I could rub something in it.
Yeah, amazingly, that's not doing anything.
He's going to pull out part of your fake hair, and then you're going to have to go to hair club for an extra appointment.
Yeah, that one's not doing a thing.
It's going to cost you.
Do I need to be a little bit more breathy?
You need to have tits.
Yeah.
I got one.
Well,
I don't think it's going to work from you.
Yeah, what kind of works is, the women who do it, they're like, they're cute and they've got the whole, but it's just,
So no one in this room could help us out, huh?
Well, and I think some of them are, kind of better than others, at how they do it. There's some I've seen like, nothing, but man, I don't know what it was. The last shot of this one, I'm like, this girl's good. Got another email here. Says, I watched a lot of Dateline before bed this weekend, and it got me thinking, how many people truly go missing a year in the United States? According to Quero.com, the United States roughly has 730 people go missing per year. That averages 2 people a day.
This is my email. I wrote it. Kevin's reading my email. I wrote into the show.
Are you alarmed? Oh, okay. This is you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you alarmed by that number? Does it actually seem low? I think this missing person stuff is so fascinating. I'd also love to publicly reopen a cold case here in Palm Beach County. It has always bothered me, and I'd love to give it some media coverage. Yeah, that's interesting. Does it alarm you, the amount of people that are going missing per year?
I wanted to, I was trying to bring it up as a topic. I want to see if you guys thought, is that a low number to you, or is that a very high number to you per year in the U.S.? 700 plus. These are people that go missing and they're never heard from ever again. And they're ruling out adults that just want to be missing.
Right.
These are people where their families have no idea where they're at, and it looks like they are gone. Somebody did something to them.
Well, we had that story a couple weeks ago. Remember that of that mom that got in a car accident and got amnesia and walked away from her car accident for 6 months?
6 months, walking around town, not knowing who she was.
Those stories are rare, but yes, those are the kind of stories people hold on to hope, but those are so few and far between.
This doesn't count old people who...
It takes all of that out. The 2 people they're saying per day is kind of an average of people who have been taken, gone out of thin air, and no one knows where they're at. There's no talking of them being a hermit at a cabin somewhere.
Yeah.
These are legit where they are in danger of being
probably a lot of it's sex trafficking would be probably a good portion of it.
Yeah, and then for that seems low because I think that they're snatching a lot more people than 2 a day.
So they put all of that into the factor. Is it people that are runaways? These are people that were taken from someone took them and they have no idea where they're at.
Do they have any kind of like a breakdown as far as like the categories or how they would categorize them?
Yeah, these would be unsolved abductions from anybody that's out there.
Yeah.
Where they just have there's no leads of it.
I mean, since, they're missing, I'm sure they can't necessarily say it, but it's like it'd be interesting to say, okay, like how many people do they believe are abducted for sex trafficking? How many part of that number is that?
I don't think they know. They just know these people are gone. They're missing without a trace. Nowhere to be found.
Yeah, if you're missing, it's hard to come up with those numbers. But yeah, I wonder
how
much of it are they possible murder victims?
Well, they don't. That's just it. They have no idea. Yeah, that's a great question. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Jane and John Does out there, which is Pretty creepy. I can't believe how many are in South Florida.
Well, and then, you just look how many people, like 30 right now, are missing from Mexico City, Florida.
From the hurricane.
Yeah. So
A little
that's
bit
ones
different.
they don't know.
A little bit different stat, though.
But is that not
Yeah.
factored into it?
No, this is, again, only people who they think it looks like they're just gone and something bad has happened to them, whether it be, they're more of them being snatched.
They can't trace it to a natural disaster.
Yeah, natural disaster, they'd be able to say, all right, hurricane.
I have
Yeah.
a feeling they're going to find those people in the rubble of those homes in Mexico Beach or Mexico Beach, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Sadly, people
Yeah, maybe it's
stayed.
Mexico Beach, yeah.
People stayed when they were told to evacuate. They're like, get out. It's almost a Cat 5. What are you doing?
That's why Rick Scott always gives you that truth.
I mean, yes, Rick Scott looks like a giant penis, but you need to listen to that dick
Yes.
because he's right. If you have a area that's been ordered to evacuate and you stay home, I hope you told your next of kin what you're doing because chances are you're not going to make it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Those to kind of backtrack to the missing people stuff. A lot of those podcasts, they just solely do. I think you were listening to one. Was it Serial, where they take one case and
Yeah.
kind of?
I listened to the first Serial. I'm not listening to the second one.
Yeah, well, it seems like everyone's doing that now.
I liked the first one. The second one, I don't know. I'm just not digging
But
it.
the thing that a lot of people need to realize is some of these missing or cold cases, even cases where someone's been murdered and they have no suspects, talking about it in the media, giving it a little bit more life does help. It has helped in the past. People, some crimes have been solved by doing that. Not a lot.
Well, people's guilty conscience sometimes gets the best of them, and they feel like they need to talk
Yeah, man.
about what happened. People sometimes remember things that they didn't think were big back then, but when you jar something or spark something in their memory, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Yeah, I would love to get more information or just continue to put the case out of Rachel Hurley. That was the girl that was murdered in Jupiter on the beach in 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She was around my age. I remember it being such a big deal.
Rachel Hurley, that's the name of it?
Yes, Rachel Hurley is her name, and she was murdered, and her body was found in the little bush area. An hour or two after it happened, and
She was just leaving a group of people and going to run to meet her family along the beach, got dropped off on a boat or something. Or
yeah, she was running to go meet her mom, and her friends looked up and saw her running down the beach, and then they looked away for a little bit and looked right back up, and she was gone at that point. They thought that was odd, and there was a reason why.
Wow.
And they've had suspects, and
Yeah.
they had a few people they thought it was them, and you never know how much the police can give you. But
be careful you don't get too close to the truth.
But somebody in this area knows what happened. I'm sorry, it was in daylight. Somebody knows.
If you think the person that did it is still here and possibly could hear you talking, do you ever get worried that someone would try to come after you?
No, because people are already coming after me anyway. So.
He wouldn't know the difference.
I got 12 stalkers.
Yeah.
It was during that time where you're growing. I was 11 or 12 years old when that had happened, and it scared the shit out of everybody, and it was just such a
Sure.
heartbreaking story. And they never caught the fucking guy.
Yeah.
And you want justice.
28 years ago. Yeah, she was 14 at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Heartbreak.
Carlin Park in Jupiter.
And I mean, that's a place where I go all the time.
Us too.
There's not a time where I don't go to Carlin Park and think about Rachel Hurley. Every time I'm there, I think about her.
Yeah, so you got those type of stories.
Keeping it out there and out just where people could hear it. Maybe there's.
Look, it can't hurt.
I agree with that.
Nothing you are doing right now can hurt. It can only help.
I would never want to disrespect the family. It's only coming from a place of trying to keep it out there.
Well, I'm sure they would love answers, and they would love the person that did this to finally be paying for their crime.
The crime that you had back at Logan, did they ever find the people who did it, the horrific one?
Yeah, they did. For the longest time, they had the stepdad who was a butcher. They had gotten him and thought that he did it, and then somebody from prison confessed to it, and they came out and then they released the stepdad, and it just seemed random. I think it was just these random guys. And if you missed the story, it was a teenage couple that was just walking. That I think this guy and his buddy, they found him, killed him, dismembered him for whatever reason, and they were finding their body parts all over town.
It's insane how many you think, okay, it's crazy enough to have one crazy mind like that, but there has been people who link up together that become a duo.
Yeah.
It's insane how
and then
often...
one of them cracked. I think he was close to death. And he
one
was like,
always cracks.
Yeah.
One always rolls over.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. There is a rumor apparently that is going around, or at least a report that has been out there as fake news that started back in 1995. Jaybird alerted me to. I don't know if you heard the bra rumor causing cancer, but it's apparently one of those fake news stories that's been out
bras
there.
cause cancer.
It rubs against your breast tissue, and then it becomes hard. Like there's this whole thing about bras causing breast cancer.
Claims that women who wear underwire bras for 12 hours a day have a much higher risk of developing breast cancer than women who do not wear bras. Written by a horn dog who likes to see bouncing boobs.
Side note: underwire bras are the devil.
They still make those?
Oh yeah. My mom still wears those. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? What are you trying to do at this point? Why do you need your tits out on a shelf? Seriously, just let nature take its course. She loves it. I cannot wear an underwire.
According to the American Cancer Society, there is no evidence that compression of the lymph nodes by bras causes breast cancer. So there you go. That was fake news if you do see that going around, and social media has such a great way of being able to spread this kind of stories today.
Oh, social media will freak you out.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Don't believe the hype, baby. It is not true. All righty. Well, there we go for Monday. Thank you guys for the emails. You can always get a hold of us. It's mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. Enjoy your Monday. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.